The syllabus for the course. All right, so this is me, Jose Annunziato. This is my YouTube channel, so all the lectures will be recorded and made available at that YouTube channel. I encourage you to subscribe and like all my videos. That's my personal phone number. Please don't share out. And that is really the best way of getting a hold of me. Just feel free to text me, call me, pester me all you want at my phone number. We're going to be holding office hours at 132 Nightingale, way across the other side of the campus, on Tuesdays today and Fridays at noon time, from 12 to 1. But certainly you can also make an appointment, and we can jump on a Google Hangout and share screens, and we can remotely help you out as well. Most of our homework will be submitted through GitHub. So make sure that if you do ask questions on Piazza, or to be as verbose and give us as much context as you can, perhaps even a link to a line of code that is giving you some trouble on GitHub. The TAs and myself are hopefully will have access to your GitHub account, and to your GitHub repository, and should be able to clone down your repository, maybe compile it, run it, fix it for you, and then push your a fix to your repo. So make sure that to give us as much context as possible if something is if you're stuck on something on a particular feature. That's my Google Hangout and my Gmail account. Also, the repositories that you're going to be creating for this class, you're going to be creating in total 4 repositories, 2 for the front-end repositories and 2 back-end repositories. We'll need access to those, the TAs and myself. So please, if you could, make those repositories private, and then invite the TAs and myself so that as collaborators, so we have access to those repos. Okay. You can use GitHub.com, or you can use the university's repos, right? Either one works. Also, we're going to be deploying all our applications on Heroku. You can also invite me as a collaborator on Heroku. My username is the same, Janunzi. If you invite us as collaborators, we will be able to help you even better. If your server crashes or you can't connect to a database or whatnot, we will be able to jump in there and restart your server and check out your connections and whatnot. So please invite us as collaborators to your Heroku project. So as I mentioned earlier, the goals of the course is to go through several web technologies and present them as a framework for building applications, right? Just as opposed to building a desktop application, we'll be building applications using the web as a framework. We are going to be, there's way too many frameworks and way too many technologies to cover them all in a semester. So I've identified two frameworks or 2 stacks that we're going to be covering this semester. The first half of the semester will cover one stack, and the second half of the semester will cover a different stack. Right now, each stack does involve several technologies, separate ones. We'll first look at the first stack that we're going to take a look at will consist of using React.js as the front end, using Java server in the middle tier, and using MySQL as the database in the back end. In the second half of the semester, we'll take a look at the main stack, right, that uses AngularJS as the front end, uses Node.js in the middle tier, and uses MongoDB as a non-relational database in the for data storage. Okay. So 2 different stacks, 2 different half of the semesters. We'll have a break in between, the spring break, to digest some of those ideas. We will be building all throughout the semester a project together. We're all going to be building the same thing throughout several assignments that build on each other. Right. So each assignment that comes afterwards builds on whatever you built on the previous assignment. Okay. We're going to be building an online learning system, right? We all love Blackboard, not, so we're going to be building an alternative to Blackboard, right? And we'll call it Whiteboard. And so we'll be, some of the features that you might find in a online learning system, depending on whether you're a student or whether you're a faculty. If you're a faculty, you can log in and perhaps start creating content, right? Creating courses, listing your courses that you're teaching, add content to your courses. So we'll start building that the first half of the semester using the React, Java, MySQL stack. Right, so that's the first half of the semester. The second half of the semester, we'll take a look at what a student might see. Okay, so the first half of the semester is what a faculty might see, right? And the second half is what a student might see, right? Same application, same data, but the use cases are different, right? As a student will have mostly a read-only access to the same data model. We'll have some. We'll be creating some content. Maybe they might be answering questions on a quiz, or they might be taking some online questionnaire and generating content as well, right? But most of the content that a faculty has created will be read-only to a student, right? So we'll be using the mean stack for that other half of the application. Yes. So the intent is for us to throughout the assignments and throughout the lectures is to handhold you towards creating an application, right, from scratch. Yes, and using several stacks, several technologies, and the intent is that you can then turn around and feel confident enough to then go on and build something on your own. All right, so that's the other part of the courses is that there will be a final project due at the end of the semester that you're welcome to work in groups of up to 4 people. You can work all on your own, or up to 4 people in a group. And the intent is that you can turn around and use the best practices and technologies that we've been covering in the lectures and through the assignments, and then go on and build something in a team. Okay. I prefer smaller teams than bigger teams. I think the ideal is either a 2 or 3 person team. Although I always get the same question every semester, whether if we could have four folks in the team. I mean, that's fine. I think bigger teams tend to have some folks who might coast through this and might do a little less work than others. And I always have the same at the end of the semester. Some folks complaining that some of the teams did not work as much as they did, and now it's the project is suffering, and they don't want to be blamed for other people's problems. Yeah, so if you do identify anything of that sort, I need to know it as early as possible. If waiting for the last week or next to last week to with these kinds of problems, it will be way too late to do anything about it. Okay, so again, smaller teams tend not to have these problems. So anyway, up to 4 people is fine. 1 person, I think, is too small. 4 person is too big. Regardless of the size of the team, the requirements will be the same. We used to scale back try to size the size of the project based on the number of folks, but it just became a nightmare to grade. So it's the same requirements for everybody. It's up to you how big you want your team. I think a 2 person, 3 person is the perfect size. Yeah, so lecture will be all recorded and made available. The assignments will present, the first half of the lecture will present some of the material using slides, but usually most of it is will be back and forth, working through the assignments together, getting you up and running, creating the skeleton of what we need to build, and maybe a simple prototype of what is it that you're expected to build on your own. I will push a lot of this code that we work together. I'll push it to a repository, and then you're free to grab whatever we worked on together in class and work on that, build on that to complete then the assignment on your own. Right? Assignments are meant to be worked individually. It's fine if you discuss it with other folks, some strategies and whatnot, but please you're meant to be working on individual basis on your assignment. You can copy everything I give you. You can use anything that I give you, right? But that's you should not be looking at anybody else's shoulder. The projects obviously you're encouraged to work together, but within the group, right? No collaboration across teams. So let's take a look at the agenda.